All right, I think we've kind of stabilized in numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen so that we can get going with our meeting. My goal is to be in and out of here in an hour. So we've got lots of good information, good praise reports to share, great future for St. Joseph Catholic School, and we're excited to share everything with you. So let's get started. All right. So we have our parent meeting, and as we do always, let's go ahead and start in prayer. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Oh Lord, give us the wisdom and the courage to help our children as you would, to develop them in a Christ-like love for all people, to nurture in them a desire to give and not simply to take, and to teach them to be doers of your holy word. We ask this through the intercession of Mary, St. Joseph, and all the angels and saints. Amen. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay, so diving right in, we have our always reminder of our theme for the year, and I think it's been extremely appropriate. With God, nothing is impossible, and we've certainly faced our challenges this year. But what we've seen in our school is that we have truly overcome so many different situations, and we're very proud to say that we are thriving the way that we are. So last year was made to thrive, and I think we're proving it this year with nothing is impossible. So our kids are truly embodying this theme this year. I'm very proud of them. So we might as well start out with COVID-19 updates, because it's always good for us to just see where we're at. Thankfully, if you guys are watching the numbers, I watch the Orange County numbers. Our numbers are continually going down every single day. It's wonderful to see that hopefully the vaccines are taking effect for our people who are able to get it, for our healthcare workers, for our older adults in our community. We're hoping that the teachers are next. From what we've heard, we are in the next round. I just heard today that all Servite teachers are getting their vaccines on Wednesday, so tomorrow. So I've got to make a phone call and find out how they did that, because I would love to be able to offer that at our school. But we are definitely looking forward to for anyone who desires it on our campus to be able to get those vaccines and just make sure we're even safer than we are. So what we want to encourage you guys, of course, is to keep diligent with your health and the health of your students. I have to say, we have been so impressed with how cooperative everyone has been this year. If someone even has a runny nose or a cough or a weird sneeze, they've kept them home. And as excessive as that kind of seems, Mrs. Lopez and I were talking about it. We have not had one child, and I knock on wood as I'm saying this, but we have not had one child throw up on campus this year, which sounds disgusting, but it's pretty much a miracle. We have not had, we had one child with a low-grade fever, maybe, I think it was beginning of October. We have had no cases of strep throat, no cases of our normal illnesses that come in. And that's because you guys, not only because you guys have been doing such a great job keeping the kids home if they're not feeling good, but I think our health procedures here on campus have done a great job as well, keeping everyone safe. So let's keep up the great work with that. Distance learners coming back. I really want to open this up and make sure that we have this open conversation. We have had distance learners come back, and please know that if you are a distance learner, we are ready and willing to welcome you back. The distance learning for our teachers is quite cumbersome. It's to balance both whoever's in the classroom and then whoever is obviously on the computer. And so we are very, very much looking forward to welcoming all of you back when you feel comfortable to do so. Please know that you do not have to wait until the end of the semester for this to happen. If you think you're ready, you see the numbers and you feel comfortable to bring the kids back, we are ready to welcome them back with open arms. If you have any questions about what everything's looking like safety procedure wise, feel free to call me and just have the conversation and see if this is something that you would like to do. We do have one call out need. If you guys happen to be at the store and happen to see these, we have gone through all of our sanitizing wipes on campus. So if you guys happen to see any and would like to give a little donation to our school, we have more hand sanitizer than we know what to do with for the next probably 3 years, which is wonderful. And we will use it and put it to good use. We have a great amount of other masks and everything else we need. However, sanitizing wipes is a place that we have a need in our school. So if you happen to be at the store and would like to pick up some wipes for us, we would happily take them here at school. Okay, so moving on to fundraising announcements. So we've done a good job with fundraising this year. We've already had 2 successful fundraisers. We've had our readathon, which I know we've talked about before, which has done excellent. And then also our golf tournament, which we appreciate everyone who worked so hard on that. We do have our gift card donations due by Friday. I know I put this in the newsletter on Sunday, but we've only had 15 families now turn in their $25 gift cards. So please, please, please make sure you have your gift card donations in. All you have to do is hand them off to Mrs. Arneal or myself in court or in drive-through in the morning or at pickup in the afternoon, and we'll be able to take those from you. So the best thing for gift card donations are anything local, anything you would like to do or go to purchase something, they will go to use. So that's an important part of us figuring out all of our events for the rest of the year. All right, we do have our jogathon coming up. It's coming up on April 23rd. We still have not figured out the actual format for the jogathon. What it'll likely be is individual classes coming out and running and logging, but we're still figuring that out depending on what numbers look like by that time. But we will, of course, be very safe and adhere to all of our safety rules that we have to live by currently. We do have a jogathon committee that we have together. I have not contacted them, but that will be happening by the end of the week. So if you had signed up for a jogathon and I put you down, you don't know it yet, but you will get an email and we're going to start getting together and start planning. This is not necessarily a fundraiser. However, we do want to say that what we're looking towards and what we're working towards, again, if our numbers allow us to do so, is we're looking to do a family night in May. So our open house, we had to limit the number of people that were on campus, and we had to keep it as more of a advertising opportunity for us. Hi, Miss Olivia. Hi, beautiful girl. Sorry about that. Our open house was not what we normally like to do, where we have all of our people on campus and they come and see the classrooms, which I know is important for parents to be able to come and see where their kids spend the majority of their day. So we would like to have a family night in May where we have an open house on campus. We have Mrs. Veely has been working hard collecting art this year. She'd like to do an art show. And then if we are able to do it, we would love to do some sort of a talent show or a spring sing type event out on the blacktop. So just know that that type of event is in the process of being considered based on all of our limitations that we have right now. But that's not necessarily a fundraiser. It's just more of an event. If we happen to make some money at it with different things that we can do, I mean, obviously the more money, the better we can serve our students. So then that brings up the question, so what is our spring fundraiser? Oh, one more thing, sorry, before we do that. We are going to be selling Easter lilies. So the company that provides our poinsettias for us contacted us, and they did have some Easter lilies that are available. So starting in the next couple weeks, we will send flyers home. They will be $10 per plant. They're florist quality with 6 or more blooms on them. They're actually a little bit more fragile than the poinsettias are. So we went a little lower on the quantity that we have. But if you'd like to purchase an Easter lily, that'll bring in a little bit extra for our school. And then finally, PSA involvement. So as I mentioned, we are shying away from or not going to do a big gala or anything like that just because of limitations. So what we've done is we're partnering with the parish, and Father Miguel has been incredibly generous with this, and we are getting involved in their PSA campaign. So PSA, if for those of you who don't know, is Pastoral Services Appeal. So we'll be talking about what that is. Here is the normal breakdown for our fundraising. This is what everyone agreed to at the beginning of the year. So we had our $100 in pledges for readathon, the $25 gift card donation, poinsettias and wreaths, golf tournament. Here's our gift card donation right here. That's right where we're at. And then we have this spring 2021 mixer. So this is what we're talking about replacing right now with the PSA campaign. Down here is our jogathon. So for your jogathon, just going back to that for a moment, there is a requirement of $100 in pledges per family. So our Pastoral Services Appeal, the partnership with the parish, will replace this mixer event that we were hoping to do. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about it. So Pastoral Services Appeal actually works with the Diocese of Orange. So what that does for us is it helps us and helps the parish and the diocese to support the ministries of our diocesan church and strengthens the mission of the church in all of our parishes and centers, helps strengthen our bonds of communication and family in our local church. So the way that the PSA works is that parishes go out to their parishioners and they ask for pledges. These pledges go to the diocese and they help support things like priest retirement and ministries within the diocese. Every church in the diocese is assessed a certain amount that they need to have pledged within their community. Usually the commitment for St. Joseph, I think, is around $120,000, which has always been reached. Anything above and beyond that $120,000 pledge, anything above that is considered a rebate. And that rebate above what we have to give to the diocese comes back to the church. So in the past, the church has always kept that, as they should. It's always been their specific deal. However, Father Miguel, who has just gone above and beyond on his generosity to the school and his want to keep us as one, he is committing to give 40% of that rebate back to the school this year. So if our rebate is like it was last year, the church received over $100,000 back in rebate, which means that we would receive back, if that was the case, $40,000, which would cover our costs for our spring fundraiser. So like I said, incredibly generous of Father Miguel. He is truly putting all of his effort and resources into supporting our school, which we greatly appreciate. So then now it begs the question for you, how are you involved and how is this a fundraiser on our side? So what we are asking for our fundraiser commitment is that everyone that has not bought out already of fundraising, that everyone in our school participates in the Pastoral Services Appeal. We have brochures that are going to be brought out at church next weekend, and then we will be sending them home to all of our families next week. What we'd like to do, we don't want to put an amount on it for you. The PSA is all about what you can afford, what your family can pledge, what you can do. The way that the pledges work is you can either give a one-time donation, or what my family does when we do PSA every year is that we break it up into monthly payments. So we do our certain amount and we just have till the end of the year to pay for it. So say you pledge $100, then you have $10 a month coming out from your account towards the end of the year. These forms that we send out, the brochures have forms in them. We really like you to prayerfully consider what you think your pledge should be for this PSA campaign. Once you fill that out, you just return the forms to us in Carline. We check off that you returned it to us, that you are participating in it, and then we pass them on to the church who turns them in for you. If you do not return the form, there will be a $100 charge on March 12th. Like I said, we are not putting an amount that you have to pledge. Whatever your family can do, we are putting that in the hands of the Lord, and we're putting that into your families and what you can do. Maybe it's $10, maybe it's $1,000, whatever you feel is appropriate for your family. We're putting that on you for you to decide. There's no judgment on our side. We're just asking that everyone participates. Any questions about PSA?
I have a question.
Sure.
So we already donate, but we do it through St. Mary's. Do you want us just to do one for St. Joseph then too?
Yeah, obviously it doesn't. I know a lot of people are within those parishes. We would like you to do some sort of a donation here, because it does make a difference on our side for participation numbers, as well as obviously the amount. So like I said, you know, if you're giving for St. Mary's and that's your primary parish, absolutely your main one would go there. But if you do even just a small little donation here just to be a part of it, we absolutely appreciate that.
We'll do that.
Thank you.
So Mrs. Hawley, this is Joe Emmons. Just to clarify, so if we would normally have given through the church, you don't necessarily want us to turn it into the church. You would prefer it to go through the...
It would be easier for counting if you gave it to us.
Okay.
That would be great. And I know the church is asking their parishioners. We're doing the big kickoff campaign this next weekend. I'll be there Saturday night and all day Sunday to talk to parishioners about it. The church is actually asking that you return those brochures and those pledges physically back to the church, because they're tracking them on their side as well as the diocese side. They just want to make sure, because I guess they've had some discrepancies in the past. So they want to make sure that everything's accounted for. All right. Well, thank you for that. This is probably not one of the easiest fundraisers. It is probably one of the easiest fundraisers we could ever do. And all of this, like I said, is possible because of Father Miguel and his commitment to our school. So if you see him, as always, tell him thank you for his presence over here and what he does for us, because it hasn't, I can honestly say it hasn't always been this way with every single pastor that we've had. And it's pretty incredible that we have a pastor who is so passionate about what we do over here at the school. Okay, so here is WASC and WCEA. So I'm sure you've read a little bit about this in the newsletter, and I just kind of wanted to go over it with you in person. So it's kind of a foreign thing to a lot of people, so I wanted to go over exactly what it was. WASC and WCEA are the two associations who actually give the accreditation to St. Joseph Catholic School to say that, yes, we're on the right track. Yes, we're doing everything that we should be doing. We're teaching what we should be doing. We have our Catholic identity in check. We have all of these things. We're doing everything right, and we have an accreditation for the school. So the way that it works is they come every 6 years, hopefully every 6 years. If they sometimes do 3 just to do a checkup, but they come every 6 years, and you have to write a large report, which usually takes about a year before the accreditation visit. And then that visit actually happens where a team of teachers, as well as the person in charge of the committee, comes to the school. They read your report, and then they come around your school for usually 4 days and check and make sure that everything that we said in the report is actually happening. They go into classrooms and watch classes. They look at our financials. They look at everything to make sure that we are doing everything that we said we're doing in that report. So I was on the committee for writing the report, as well as 4 other teachers. We spent the last year, basically 2018, 2019, writing this report. Last year, January of 2020, we handed that report over to our committee, and we scheduled our visit for March 15th of 2020. So we all know what happened on March 13th of 2020. We went into lockdown and our world changed. So we never quite got to that visit. We were so close. So even though we didn't get to the visit, we have to finish it up. So we have not been able to touch the report. Everything stands as it was. It was all under Joanne Tellis's direction and her vision of the school and all of that. But we actually have our visit coming up now on March 15th through 17th. So now a year later. What will look different about this visit is they will not actually be on campus. They will be doing a virtual visit. So I've been working on creating a website that has all of our evidence and all of our information on it, so that the visiting committee can visit that. And then they will be zooming in with some classes. They will be holding groups of students, groups of parents, and virtual meetings with a lot of us over those 3 days to check and make sure that we are on point and everything in our report is accurate. So what we are looking for is we're looking for parents that are willing to meet on a Zoom meeting. And I believe it is on March 15th, and it'll likely be around 6 o'clock in the evening. But we need probably about 15, 20 parents who are passionate about St. Joseph's School and Catholic education, who would be willing to be in this meeting and be kind of interviewed by this WASC committee. If you do agree to this, we will give you a copy of the WASC report for you to look through so that you can see what we've been doing this last 3 years, what goals we've achieved, where we've grown, and then where we're looking to for the future. So if this is something that's of interest to you, if you could either put your name in the chat, or you can email me and let me know if that would work for you. But I would greatly appreciate having some of our wonderful parents be willing to stand up and talk about our school. So some of the things I talked about the last time we did this, we had goals that we worked on for 6 years, and they've now been achieved. They are our SLE assessments. I don't know if any of you guys have heard your kids at home, or if you've seen my videos on the newsletter, but SLE stands for School-Wide Learning Expectations. So it's when the students say that they're faith-filled Catholics, lifelong learners, academically prepared students, and then well-rounded individuals. That's my way of teaching them the SLEs. So we have an SLE assessment that we've put together to make sure that they're meeting all of our expectations of them. We've integrated technology into our school, which looks vastly different than it did 6 years ago in our technology side of it. And then we have started and built a learning support program. So those are all achieved, and those are written about in this plan that we did, or in this report. So also within the report, we had to not only look and make sure we achieve those goals, but we also have new goals that we've set for ourselves. So these new goals that we have are that we are going to be doing PLC collaboration. So PLC, okay, students, anyone out there know what PLC stands for? Unmute yourselves and say it. Do we have any teachers in this group?
Professional learning communities.
There we go, professional learning communities. So this is a big thing in Catholic schools, especially our school, because we have one class per grade. So sometimes it's really hard for our teachers to collaborate with someone because they don't have someone on that same grade level. So one of our goals for the next 6 years is to create this collaboration opportunity for all of our teachers so that they can connect on a different level, so that we can take our curriculum and blend it through the different levels so that it's more seamless, and we're not working as separate entities, but we're working actually as more collaborative teams among our teachers, which they're really good at anyway, but we're just going to take it to a whole new level. We're also going to be working on bringing SEL, social emotional learning, more into our curriculum. We're doing a really great job with that in middle school right now, but we're going to be expanding that and making sure that we are hitting the needs of all of our students on campus. And then we're also going to be working on evangelization with our students, helping them to really recognize not only their Christian Catholic beliefs, but having the confidence to actually speak about them and evangelize, and to be able to talk to other people about what their faith is. So those are our goals. All right, so if there's no questions I can go back. Any questions on WASC? Okay, well then I'm going to be passing it off to Mrs. Arneal, who's going to give us some financial updates.
Okay.
How am I sounding? Hopefully I'm not breaking up. I don't know about my internet connection here. Okay, well, thank you everybody for coming tonight. There's so much information here and we do want to get all of it out to you. So finances, it's always the fun part of the meeting, but we are always very interested in how things are going. So I just want to start off with a quick overview. You know, Mrs. Holly and I talk every day about our mission here at St. Joseph, and we understand that you sending your child to St. Joseph means that some of your precious financial resources you can't use other places. And so we take it very seriously. And we understand that we want to make the budgeting part of it as easy as possible for you. But we have a budget we have to deal with too. Just like you have a budget at home, we have a budget here at the school. And so there are many components in our budget. There are some things that are fairly static, utilities, textbooks, some of the software subscriptions that have been the same for a few years now. Then some are more changing. Just recently this year, we had to up our sanitation, our cleaning protocols, things like that. Also, technology payroll costs, such as salary and health benefits. Those are things that are always increasing. So to be ensured that we're using the resources wisely and efficiently, we look at our budget closely throughout the year. And then especially now this time of year, we're looking at it line by line so we can give you an estimate or a tuition. So our single largest budget expenditure, of course, is human resources, the teachers and the staff that work each and every day to support and educate your children. So unfortunately, right now, the diocese hasn't given us the pay scale. So the diocese tells us, St. Joseph School, what a teacher will earn. So it's widespread. It's all across the diocese. And typically, every year there will be a small increase. It's usually like more of a cost of living thing. This last year, there was no increase. There was a pay freeze. This year, there will be an increase. We don't know what it will be. We've been told that it could go anywhere between 3 and 5%, and that will be a salary increase for the teachers. So as you can imagine, without this number, it's a virtual impossibility for us to give you a good number for tuition. So because we want to make sure that we're not over. If we estimate high, and we could be needlessly raising the tuition. So we're looking at every single line. We're making sure that we're going to be able to stay fiscally strong and be there to educate your children in the years to come by doing that. So that being said, we don't have a number for tuition yet. We are working on it. We're going to get it as soon as possible. Like I said, that we've been waiting on this for about a week now. They told us they'd give it to us and we haven't had it. So as soon as we get that number, we will be getting that out as soon as possible. Okay. So for example, I just want to give you a quick thumbnail, and it's kind of hard to talk about these numbers because I know for a lot of people, this has been a challenging year, and we don't want you to think that we're cavalier about these numbers. But for example, if we were to pass on a direct 5% increase on our tuition, that would mean we would go from $7,075 for the first student to $7,429. That's a difference of about $30 over a payment plan, $30 a month for a 12-month payment. Okay. So it's not a huge amount. It is an amount. And we are looking at that. Now, honestly, we're just trying to be transparent about it. That's not our goal to say that that's what the number is going to be. I'm just saying that I want people to kind of think about it in those frames. But any number I say right now would be a guess. Okay. And know that it's better for us to wait and be certain about it before we actually start talking about numbers. Now, know that as far as it comes to tuition, we will keep it as low as possible. If I can hold it to 1 or 2%, that's what I'm going to do. I mean, Mrs. Holly knows this about me. I mean, every time she comes to my office, I'm like, I just can't do that to people. But by the same token, we do need to honor our commitment to our teachers to make sure that they are earning what they're worth, and they'd be earning far more if we paid them what they're worth, because we know what they've been doing in the classroom this year. It's been phenomenal. So That being said, know that I'm working hard to keep it manageable. Also, I think anybody who knows me knows that I'm happy to set up payment plans the way it works for your family. I know FACTS only offers so many choices, but I've set up weekly plans. I've set up bi-weekly plans. I've set up bi-monthly plans. It's whatever works in your family budget. And also know that if you are one of those people where you can afford to pay all at once, we will still honor the 3% tuition paid in full discount as long as the tuition is paid in full by June 30th. Okay. So now we're moving on down to commitments. So the commitments for fundraising, script, and service will all remain virtually unchanged from prior year. So we're going to, although with service, we're kind of hoping, I think Mrs. Holly would agree that we're hoping that going into next year, we'll be able to have parents on campus helping out in library and all those wonderful things. So that's a goal. So let's see. So we're going to stick with that. And then buyouts, of course, will still be an option if you prefer to buy out. Fundraising buyout would be $575, script buyout would be $400, service would be $500. And now remember, everybody, script earnings go from May 16th of one year to the May 15th the next year. So script earnings for this year ends on May 15th and starts for next year on May 16th. So make sure you're using that e-script and everything over the summer, because that will really make a difference. Commitments, we are going to be sending out a commitment survey form like we did last year. So you'll complete that and you'll get that back into me electronically by June 1. And it'll ask you then if you want to have a buyout or if you're planning on participating. And then on to registration. So registration will be billed in fax as it always has been. Registration for this next year will be $580. So it has come down a little bit. We are going to set everybody up for a payment plan. That payment plan will automatically be on, you can see the dates there. It's March 22nd, $195. April 20th, $195, and May 20th, $190. If you'd like to take advantage of paying all at once and get a $20 early bird discount, you pay by March 15th. And you can do that either by fax, signing onto your account and doing that yourself, or giving me or dropping off a check at the school in Carline or whatever. But please be sure you put that in an envelope, because don't hand me just a wad of cash and say it's mine, because it helps me out a lot if you put it in an envelope and put a name on it. That way I can keep track of it. And then let's see. Yeah, so make sure you got the names on there and everything like that. And then finally, we are adding a couple supplemental fees for the first time that will be billed in fax. There's a $15 NAP fee for preschool, transitional kindergarten, and kindergarten that will be billed in July, and a $50 technology fee for 2nd through 8th grade that will also be billed in July. Also keep in mind that we do have financial aid. So please, and it is open now, so please feel free to sign on and fill out your application. I believe there's the $35 application fee. We will give our decisions by May 14th. And when you do get a decision, please sign on and accept as soon as possible. That does make a big difference for us, because if you don't plan on using the money, if you've decided that you don't need it, we had a couple families that did that this last year. They said, we are not in a position of needing this. Please put it back in the pool. So if your financial situation has changed and you no longer need it, please, by all means, you can always decline your award and we can reissue it to somebody who truly is in need, and we do appreciate that. But please sign on and accept the award when it is given, or decline it straight away so we know that we can utilize that. And in any case, if you have any questions, you can always contact me via email. Let me know when it's a good time to reach you, and I can give you a call when it's convenient. So I think that's pretty much it. Are there any questions about any of that right now before we move on? It was a lot. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't talk too fast.
For the technology fee, can we put that in with the registration?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you're going to do that, again, that would be a really nice thing to include a note on, so I know,
Yeah.
because otherwise I'll be like, what's this extra $50 for?
Right. No, I would make it
So,
2 checks. Okay.
And just
I
a
like that.
note on, if I could add on to that technology fee, the reason we've put that on there, when we moved to the Chromebooks, the Chromebooks actually have to be managed per year. And so that's a $40 cost that we actually have to pay to manage the Chromebooks. And we'll be talking about why that goes down to 2nd grade in a moment, but that'll go towards managing the Chromebooks, as well as the adaptive programs that we have that facilitate and add to our blended learning that we're doing at the school.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so registration for 2021-22 for TK through 8th grade, obviously preschool is a little bit different. So Mrs. Arneal started talking about this a little bit, which is wonderful. And we're just going to kind of go through it. For next year, we are going to extend our class sizes from 20 this year to 25. We still feel extremely confident that not only will the numbers be better as far as COVID, but even if, God forbid, something happens and the numbers are where they have been, we still feel extremely confident being able to socially distance our students at 25 in a classroom if necessary. So we will be extending that. That being said, we do already have this year, we have 4 classes that are at capacity with the 20 students. One of them, which is 7th grade, which technically has 23 students. However, they have enough on distance learning to space out that it makes a difference to space out in the classroom. So we will be cutting off registration at 25 students. We hope to obviously, get close to that number so that we can have a more robust budget to work with and just feel a little bit more comfortable. We are committing to this 25 students. Most schools in the diocese are going up to 36 students. We are committing to keeping these class sizes smaller because we feel that this is something unique to St. Joseph Catholic School. It doesn't make for, the most, the best budget for us. Of course, 36 students per class would give us a lot more resources financially, but to us, the low student to teacher ratio is so important and such a dynamic part of what we do here that we are going to make that commitment. I just already talked about our current class sizes being at 20. And so then moving on to applications for 2021-22. So we have already opened those up. We had a good amount of interest in our open house, and we almost every single day get some kind of a phone call for not only this school year, but next school year. So we do hope, we still don't know what all of our local school districts are going to be doing in the fall. I think it's going to take quite a bit for them to come back to a full-time situation, considering most of their class sizes are around 36. So St. Joseph is constantly getting calls asking about what we have to offer here, knowing that we can commit to having our students on campus for 5 full days of learning now and in the fall. So what's nice for all of you is that FACS has offered a new feature this year where they have allowed for auto enrollment. So all of you and all of your students have already been auto enrolled for the 2021-22 school year. There's no need for you to go into FACS and to go through everything again, that whole 15-minute to half-hour process to go through and re-enroll your students has completely pulled over and been done for you. So it makes it nice and easy for you for registration for next year. It's already done for you. What we do need from you is if you have moved in the last year, if you have changes in who will pick up your students, if you have any kind of personal information that has changed, we are going to be sending out a form from Mrs. Lopez for you to give us that updated information so that we can make sure that we have the most updated information within our system. If you have siblings that are ready to enroll at St. Joseph, You actually just need to contact the office for instructions, and then we will also include instructions once we have them in place in the next couple weeks newsletters on Sundays. So keep an eye out for them. But it's super easy to enroll siblings. I know we have lots of little brothers and sisters that I see in Carline, and we're looking forward to having them as Spartans. So that was it on registration. Questions for registration for next year? We're making it super easy for you. All right, very good.
There's nothing in the chat box, but there might be a few families that have their hand up.
Oh, okay. Anyone's welcome to unmute if you have any questions right now. If you did want to ask me later, you're more than willing to email me or call me in the morning, whatever you guys need if you have questions that you didn't want to ask on here. Okay. So just a reminder, moving on, that we do have extended care available. We're looking to build up our program and get some more kids back in there. It's been definitely quieter this year. Lots of people picking up right away at 3 o'clock. But again, to, as always, keep ourselves financially in a place, we want to make sure and build up our program. So if you guys, I don't know, hair salons are open now. Do you need your haircut? Send your kid to daycare. Would you like to have a afternoon park date with some friends going for a walk? Send your kids to daycare. So Ms. Poole has been working on some exciting activities and putting together a calendar of what's going to be done each day within daycare. And that's going to be included in the weekly newsletter starting on Sunday. So she's working on doing craft time once a week. She's doing dance parties. She's doing outside time, all kinds of fun things. So if you see a day where you think your student would have a lot of fun in daycare, they would also get their homework done, of course. But feel free to send them over to daycare for a little bit in the afternoon. We would love to have them. Okay, I'm going to send it off. Is Dina shut on? I was going to send it off to her for parent-teacher group.
I'm here.
Hey, go for it, Dina.
Amanda, before I start, there's a question in chat
Sure.
that says, what is the date for the first day of school? Oh.
Date for first day of school for next school year is... I actually am working on it right now. We have it as August 23rd.
All right. Parents, I believe that you have listened to me go through this spiel before. And so I don't want to keep you too long because I know by this time of the night, everybody's done. So I'm going to give you the bottom line up front first to try to grab your attention. Parent-teacher group. We are asking people to volunteer. One, it's minimal hours. It's really up to you what you can give, what you can donate in time. 1 hour to 100 hours. We'll take what you can do. And two, our main goal is to create community. And we do that by supporting events that bring our community together without asking you for a dime. Okay, so for example, muffins with mom, donuts with dad. If COVID wasn't a thing, we would be doing our Halloween trunk or treat. These are the kind of things we try to bring together and support because community is so important. And I know I've had 3 kids. I got one at Servite, one at Rosary. I know these Catholic schools, they need our money. I understand that. I choose to pay and participate, but sometimes it's just nice to get together without somebody asking me to pull out my checkbook. And so in a nutshell, we are a group of parents, moms and dads who get together to put events together. Like I said, in addition, we run a few fundraisers of our own just because we're self-funded. So some of the things we have funded for the school, if you guys see the Spartan sign on the preschool fence, we have supported sports equipment. We have supported the big movie monitor that we use for movie nights. Not everything is coming to me off the top of my head, but we've done a lot. In addition, we support our Teacher Appreciation Week. lunches. We have an event for teachers every day that week, and the PTG group fundraises and, hey, oh, sorry. Love doing this at home with family. So anyway, how do you get involved? Like I said, we'll take anybody, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. We just need your help. We need your ideas. Typically we get together, we try to do once a month. During COVID, it obviously has not been happening since we can't get together. I'm assuming next year this will start again. Typically my house, usually with a glass of wine. Maybe that's a little enticing. So anyway, that's PTG in a nutshell. Come out, join us, be part of us. If you don't know families, if you're new, it's a great way to meet new families. Did I miss anything, Kelly?
Yes, we're gonna have a fundraiser for Teacher Appreciation Week, Easter egg, seeds candy for Easter, and everything will be delivered before Easter break. So please participate. There's no requirement.
The big excellent Easter gift ideas and the text you sent me that said, "Don't forget to talk about our fundraiser." Yay, Dina. Anyways, one other thing I want to say really quick. Like I said, this money gets spent very quickly, either on our teachers, Muffins for Moms, all these events. However, if we should get to the end of the school year and there's any amount of money left, it goes right into the school's budget and is returned back to the school. So this money is 100% for the school.
And just to add in one example of what the parent teacher group has done for us during Catholic Schools Week last Friday, they brought Starbucks for all of the teachers and staff on campus. They bought them lunch. It was a half day, but the teachers were able to take that lunch home with them, and it just meant the world to them. So to show your appreciation to the teachers is wonderful. Thank you for that.
And we were able to do that because we did the wrapping paper at the beginning of the year. So we know our teachers make a sacrifice teaching at Catholic schools, and so we really try to do whatever we can to show our appreciation.
There's a question in the chat box about how to get a hold of you. So, and I think Scott just did.
They're on it.
Great.
I will put my info as well. Thank you.
And I'll make sure and put in the newsletter on Sunday when there's a meeting coming up. Great. Thank you, ladies. So I do have just some general announcements and general things to go through with you. Sweatshirt orders. I've had a lot of questions on them. I did contact our sweatshirt company. Apparently the big storms back east caused problems with shipping, and all of the sweatshirts come from back east. So she's hoping for the rest of the shipments this week, and then they will be printing them as soon as possible. And we're hoping to, the moment we get them in our hands, they will be in your students' hands. So just wanted to give you an update on that. If you did not order a sweatshirt, we did order a few extra of each size, and we will have them available for purchase. Stations of the Cross. If you are new to St. Joseph or haven't done it in the past, one of our traditions during Lent is that grades 3 through 8 take turns every single Friday and present Stations of the Cross. Normally everybody is invited to them. However, with COVID, we are not doing as many in-person opportunities. So I just wanted to mention, keep an eye on the newsletter to know how you can actually attend these virtually and pray along with us every Friday during Lent. They're a beautiful opportunity to really remember the season and reflect on the sacrifice that our Lord made for us. Just a heads up, end of trimester is March 12th. If you have not gone into facts lately, make sure and go in and check on grades. It's a great time for you to kind of go through. Not all teachers have everything updated, but I'm working on them to make sure that they get everything in as quick as possible. But make sure and go in and check on things. We've got about a month just to make sure that everything is good. And it's just a good reminder to see what's going on with your kiddo. If there's something that you have a question about, always feel free to send an email to one of your teachers and just ask them a question. They're always more than willing to go through anything with you. Ash Wednesday is coming up next Wednesday. Is that correct? Next Wednesday. And we will be having an all school mass again, just like we did for Catholic Schools Week. Let me tell you, it brought me to tears to be able to have the entire school going to mass together. We haven't done that the entire year, and you don't realize how much you miss it until you're there. And it meant so much. I mean, we were sitting there, everyone was on the blacktop. It was silent. There wasn't, preschool was out there. They were silent. Kindergarten, who hasn't been to a regular mass with the school all year, they were just all so good and so well behaved and into the mass. It was just wonderful. So Father even noticed it, and he said that we need to do an outdoor mass at least once a month. So I know it's a lot of work for them over at the parish to get everything set up, but it makes my heart happy to know that he saw the difference and they're willing to do this for us. So our next outdoor mass is going to be on Ash Wednesday at 9 a.m. There will be parishioners there. We will be kept separate from the parishioners. We will probably have the field and the parishioners will have the blacktop. But either way, we will be out there socially distanced, very safe, but we will be attending mass together as a community. If you would like to join us, please come on over. Any of these outdoor masses that we have, bring a chair, come and join us. I will let you know anytime that they happen because they're so meaningful to our community. Ash distribution, the church has decided on it. I sat on a lot of the diocese meetings the last few months when they were trying to figure out the best way to administer ashes. At one point, it was sprinkling them over the heads. It's such a strange world we live in right now. But what they're going to be doing is they're going to be actually giving out little bags of ashes so that people can self-administer ashes to themselves. We obviously won't do that with our students. We will be giving them to our teachers, and then the teachers will be administering them very safely and cleanly. Okay, yearbooks. Pilar Cardenas has been doing an amazing job with the yearbook, especially considering we don't have sports to put in there. We don't have, all the clubs to put in there, all of that. But she has done an amazing job making sure that a yearbook is put together and really reflects what we have going on this year. So she did have a few reminders for us. Got it right here. If you have Christmas family pictures, please send them in. Everything goes to yearbook@sjsplacentia.org. She'd love pictures of students with their pets or the picture of their pets themselves. She's doing a whole pet spread. She'd love pictures of the first day of school. For 8th grade parents, she still needs some baby pictures of the 8th grade students, and then pictures of previous years of these 8th grade students and their years either through St. Joseph or when they were younger. She'd really love a first communion picture of each of the 8th graders that made their first communion. All of the yearbook orders, any ads that you want to put in there or any photos, everything is due by February 26th. So if you want to order a yearbook, we need to know by February 26th. They're $40 and they're well worth the money. They're beautiful books. If you wanted to put an ad in the back, I know lots of 8th grade parents like to put ads in the back. Those again are also due by February 26th. She wanted to let anyone know if you want to put in an ad, but you don't have time to put it all together and design it, you can send her the pictures and the message and she will actually put that together for you. She's amazing. Any questions on yearbooks? All right, get those orders in. February 26th, noon date. Okay, we did, and I just want to let everyone know, we had to add a noon dismissal. So this is going back to our WASC accreditation visit. They have asked that they meet with the entire faculty before 3 p.m. on March 17th. So we did add to your school calendar, we did add another noon dismissal on March 17th. We will be offering free daycare from 12 till 3 that day because we don't want this to be a hardship on anyone. So please let us know if you're going to use it so that we can prepare for enough teachers to be in there to watch them. But we are adding that additional noon dismissal on there on St. Patrick's Day. You're welcome to pick up early and go start your celebration early. Socially distanced though. Okay, and then we talked about outside mass already with Ash Wednesday, so that's perfect. Okay, announcements for uniforms. We have a few enhancements for the 2021-22 school year that I wanted to make an announcement about. So we have a new color available for middle school students, a new privilege for them. The dark blue on the left is going to be the new one of the new options for our middle school for our 6th through 8th grade students. The reason we've put this in there is because we are expanding the grades that can use the maroon shirts. I know as a parent who had little guys, there's nothing worse than seeing your student come home covered in marker or crayon or paint or anything like that on their white or gray shirts. It makes more sense for those little guys to have a darker color. So the maroon shirts for next school year will be extended all the way down TK through 8th. And then the middle school privilege color will be this darker blue polo shirt. Just wanted to give that announcement. You'll also notice a couple new items on the dentist uniform list for next year. There's actually some for the middle school students. There's some lighter weight, stretchier fabric shorts that are a little more comfortable for the boys, because I know those other ones are really stiff. I did not do that down to the younger ones just because they're not as durable as those thicker ones, but those will be available, not necessary, but be available for purchase next year through dentist uniform, and they'll be added on to our shopping availability. Okay, another exciting announcement with the parish improvements that are coming. They're building new bathrooms, and it's taken a while to get there because of COVID. Everything was put on hold. But when they complete this, there's going to be a new fresh paint palette for the entire campus, both church and school. The pink will be gone. Yay! Everyone can unmute and cheer about this. The pink and the purple are going to be gone. Yay!
Yay! Finally.
I know it. I thought I would get some good responses on that. So starting on the left, that lightest color will be the main color of the buildings. The middle color will be the color of the doors. And that darker color on the right will be the trim color. So we are officially entering into the new millennium, and we will have a much more stylish and much cleaner looking school. So this is a very long time coming, and it's wonderful. Again, this is a whole Father Miguel thing that they looped us into it. And this is all being covered by the building costs of the new restrooms and the renovation that they're doing over at the church. So again, if you see Father Miguel, we're going to say, thank you, Father Miguel.
Thank
So,
you.
exciting stuff.
Thank you.
So one more thing to talk about with you all, just looking to the future of St. Joseph, because I'm most excited about this. Most of you know I came from the technology coordinator position. Since I've been here, we have brought in a one-to-one program. We've been through lots of different transitions with the technology lab. Well, we're going to be, with all of the changes that we've had also in our science department, we're going to be moving in a new direction for next year. And I wanted to just kind of give you a little glimpse of where we're moving towards. So we have Mr. Raya as our interim science teacher. He is wonderful. We love him. It's Mr. Raya. He's doing a great job. The kids are engaged. He's got a good curriculum. The kids are learning. But I've had the conversation with him. He's brought it up to me. He is an interim science teacher. He does not want to do this long term. He knows that he is passionate about PE and health and running our athletics program. So we are currently in the process of looking for a new science teacher for the 2021-22 school year. We have a couple of different options that we're looking at. One of them is obviously just putting out a job application and having people send in resumes. And that's certainly something we're looking at. However, we have also, if any of you know our third grade teacher right now, Miss Korth, she is wonderful. She actually came to us from the Notre Dame ACE program. So what the Notre Dame program does is it takes new graduates from Notre Dame University and it places them in schools across the country to, and they're trained this entire time, but to teach within those schools. So she has come to us. She is fabulously trained. She is completely in tune with everything that's going on, and it has been such a blessing for our school. So what I have done is I've talked to the ACE program, and they are currently looking for within our specifications if they have any science majors who are looking to go into education. If that is the case, we may possibly get a placement here for 2 years from that ACE program. So what I have told the ACE program, what I'm looking for is that it has to be someone who will teach to 4th through 8th grade. We may even pull it lower if the schedule allows for it. They will not only be teaching science, but they will also be including STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math into their curriculum. And then they will also take over my part of my old position, which is technology coordinator. They will be handling all of our technology on campus, making sure that our Chromebooks are all where they need to be, and managing everything from that side. So that's what we're looking forward to for the 2021-22 school year. So with all of this and our new teacher, we are looking this summer to reconfigure our technology lab. For anyone who has been down there, we have 18 desktop computers in there that are dinosaurs. They were actually donated to us very generously from the Social Security Administration when the Social Security Administration didn't want them anymore. So we have made great use of them. They have served their purpose, but they are at the end of their lives. So we're going to be taking those out, and we're going to be reconfiguring that entire room. So we're going to be removing all the computers. We're going to be creating a more interactive and usable space. We've actually been working with an engineering company called Campos that is opening up a satellite office down by Angel Stadium. And they have some engineers who would like to come on campus and do some STEM after school classes. So we'll be utilizing that. And Campos actually this last week just donated an $850 3D printer to our school. So we have the start of our tech lab reconfiguration. So it's slowly going to be turning into an innovation lab for us. With this, since we will be getting rid of those computers that are in the technology lab, we are going to be extending our one-to-one program. So our Chromebooks will actually be coming down to 2nd grade. So 2nd grade through 8th grade will have on their list for the year to need to bring in a Chromebook. We will have Chromebook carts for 2nd and 3rd grade so that they will not be coming home with them nightly. They will be staying at the school within the Chromebook cart in the locked and alarmed room, but it will be part of their supply list next year to have a Chromebook actually on campus. We believe in a completely balanced technology environment. This does not replace handwriting. This does not replace writing essays. This does not replace anything that we do in the classroom. It's enhancing it. And it's honestly just making it easier for our 2nd and 3rd grade classes who are trying to fumble going and using the lab as it is. We currently have a Chromebook cart that is mostly used by 3rd grade right now. That will be reallocated. And we're hoping to add another Chromebook cart so that 1st grade and kindergarten have access to that for their technology needs, since we won't have a traditional computer lab anymore. So that's where the $50 tech fee comes in. So when we say that the tech fee goes down to 2nd grade, it's because we are extending that Chromebook program down to 2nd grade. Very, very exciting stuff. Any questions about this?
Mrs. Hawley, one question was put in the chat regarding the shirts. Does the gray shirt become extinct?
Nope, gray shirt stays in play. More than welcome to have the gray shirt. White shirt does too. The only day that you will need to wear a white shirt is for Wednesdays for Mass. The white polo shirt, the softer one for Mass, will be the Mass shirt for TK through 5th grade. The only grades that are required to have that more stiff Oxford shirt for Mass will be 6th, 7th, and 8th. Good question. We're only adding, we're not taking anything away. All right, very good. Well, I'm very excited. As I said, that WASP report was written in the vision of Mrs. Tellis and our old principal, and I think it's wonderful. I would love to, I think we could use this technology goal added into the report, but the report is what it is. But this is my vision for the school. I believe that we meet the needs of our learners with all of our academics. I believe that we have strong ELA. Our math scores have improved just tremendously over the last 4 years. Not mostly, but under the direction of Mrs. Fernandez, our middle school math teacher, who's spectacular. We have a theater program in place to give our kids who are not sports kids an outlet. We have our sports programs in place that when we can play are excellent teams. We have been missing the science technology element. And I believe that with this new direction, this will put us into that next level of Catholic schools, and it will meet a need that our students are currently desperately missing. Coding and building of things, and just an outlet for putting all of those imagination pieces together so that they can really grow in the best way. So very, very exciting. Okay, so just opening it up to questions about anything I talked about tonight or anything else going on. I always like to have an open session at the end and just see where everyone's at. We have a couple raised hands. You guys are welcome to either put it in the chat or just unmute.
Mrs. Holly, whatever happened to the script drawing from the Christmas greenery fundraiser?
Oh, that's a great question. I never did announce those winners. That was completed, and I apologize. I did not put those winners in the newsletter. It did happen. Mrs. Arneal, I'm sure you don't have that information on you right now, but I will make sure and put the winners in the newsletter on Sunday, but that was completed. Thank you.
I just want to, sorry. I just want to make a comment. Coming as a nurse, I think you guys have done an amazing job with the sanitation, making sure all the kids are coming with their masks. There's just been no problem. Just like you said, strep throat, it's very interesting. You know, I mean, I don't know about your vomiting, but you see all that. But I just think that I'm just as a nurse, very happy to see that these people have really accommodated what you have asked of all of us. It's hard. I'm right now in that little bit, just from a runny nose. But you know what? I keep them home anyway. So I just think it's something that we all need to learn. And you know what? Just like we were all taught, wash your hands. Mm-hmm. Period. Just wash your hands. So actually, I think you've done You've done an amazing job, Amanda.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It's a definite team effort. And
I know it's a team effort.
When any letter goes out at the end of the year to collect for Jesse, if you're going to put money into anybody's envelope, that is he is the hardest working man on campus by far. I mean, he is constantly out cleaning and sanitizing and taking care of things. And he has been the cornerstone of all of this.
Right. No, but thank you. I appreciate it. I think you guys have all done a great job.
Anyone else? Wonderful. Well, there we go. Like we said before, with God, nothing is impossible. We see amazing things for the future of St. Joseph's School. We know that we're just going to keep building and building. Every single one of your children are a blessing to our school. And as always, I want to thank you for choosing to send them to us so that we can be a part of their lives. So thank you everyone for being here. We really appreciate it, and have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Good night.
Love you.
Bye, bye, Allie. I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you, Lori, too. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, bye, honey. Bye, Emily. Bye, Olivia.